Hi, I am Dr. Lisa James, nutritionist here at Well Within Reach. I'm going to take you through a tour of the office and kind of take you through a tour of what an initial visit will look like when you come in and see me for the first time. So this is our front door, of course. So come on in with me and let's see how things work. Okay, so after you're done with the initial paperwork, we're going to head back to our first room, which is where we're going to do some of your initial assessment measurements. So that's going to include your blood pressure, your BMI and body fat percentage, along with your HRV, which is called our heart rate variability test. So that just gives us some background information on your nervous system, especially your autonomic nervous system. So when we get in to do the nutrition response testing aspect of it, it gives us some background of just how overall things are. This room, we have Megan. She's the one that does all of our tests back here. So I'm just going to show you how this is all going to work when you get in here. We have our blood pressure cuff, like I mentioned, to take your blood pressure. We have this little contraption that does your blood or your BMI and your body fat percentage that will put in your stuff in here and hold this, and this gives us that. The other thing we do back here again is that HRV or heart rate variability test. So we put a heart rate monitor on you, just like this, underneath of your shirt, pick up your heart rate on the system. Then you lay on the table behind us here. We lay there for a minute or two while it's monitoring you. Then you stand up next to the table while it's monitoring you there. Lastly, you sit on the table while it's doing some measuring in that position too. So the whole basis of that test is it's giving me some background information on your autonomic nervous system, which is going to be helpful when we get into the next room where I'm going to show you how the nutrition response testing process works. So when we get all those tests done, you meet me in the other room to do the majority of our work. When you're laying on this table, I'm going to be doing the arm pushing process, and I'm going to have Megan come in here for me just so I can show you real quick how it all works. But when we get you on the table, we're going to use my test kits here along with the supplements up on the wall to determine what the best treatment option is for some of the stuff you have going on. So go ahead and lay down there, Megan. So when Megan is laying down, she's going to put her arm up for me. I'm going to be using this arm to push on to basically do reflex testing for the organ systems and the nervous system. So as I'm pushing down on this arm, she's pushing back at me, and I'm using this hand and placing it over whatever organ I'm wanting to check, say her liver, her heart, or her stomach. So as I'm doing that, I'm going to check whether or not this is a strong or a weak reflex. When I find weak reflexes, I then use these test kits to place on the body to check to see what could potentially be happening in that organ. These test kits are going to include things like immune challenges, foods you might be eating, toxins from the environment, or personal care products, or stuff like that. So as we find out what then is the problem with a weak spot, we can find a solution with a group of my supplements here, which include Standard Process. It includes some heart and soil products, includes systemic formulas. I also use some energetics products as well, which are more homeopathy stuff. So as we come up with the right solution, we find a supplement on the shelf, and I check it against that organ and that reflex to determine what our best choice is going to be. And then I can dose it so I know exactly how many the system needs. And then we have a treatment plan for the symptoms that you have. So then at the end of that session, thank you, Megan, I will have a sheet that gets printed with all of the supplements on it that you will be starting with for that day. And then on day 2, when you come back, I will have a report put together. All your test scores, your numbers, your things we did and found on day 1, so we have a good treatment plan for what we have going forward. All right, so let's head out here and see Tammy so she can get us what we need. So she will hand us that supplement sheet when we get out here to the front desk. So this is what you'll get, the supplement sheet that's going to have the list of the things that you need from our shelf. Tammy will get those for you. That way when you get checked out, you will head home with what you need with the instructions on exactly what to do and how to take them. That way you can be well on your way to your path to wellness.